Hello, it's Lucy and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I make my own Sazón condiment. So what is Sazón? Well, it's a condiment like sofrito and adobo. It's a staple in criolla cooking. And so basically you can purchase it at the store and they come in a box like this. This brand happens to be by Knorr and they have Bojillo, they have Goya, but you can get it in a box like that. And they also have a smaller box as well. And these run around $3.50 to $4.50 depending on where you buy them, right? And basically in the box you will find like 3 sheets of these. And I believe there's 12, and they're perforated. And when you remove one, you'll get a little envelope like this, you see? And in here is about a teaspoon of Sazón. So what do we use Sazón for? Well, primarily we use it as a colorant in stews, in soups, in marinades, in rice and beans. When we make pasteles, pastelillos, we will use it as primarily a colorant, even though it does have flavor. It has the peppery aroma and a real subtle nutty and sweet flavor, which is really nice. And I'm fortunate enough that my father has an Annatto tree. So let me go out and show you what that tree looks like. This here is my father's achote tree, or Annatto tree. It is absolutely beautiful. And when it starts to bloom, you can see a beautiful purple flower comes out. You can see here, and the pods start to form. See how gorgeous that is? And from that, when the pods form, they look like this. Now this isn't ready to harvest yet because the pods have to open. Let's see if I can find one that's open. Here we go. This is an Annatto pod that's ready to be harvested. It's an absolutely gorgeous tree. So one of the reasons that I like making my own, again, is because I'm fortunate enough that, like you saw that beautiful tree, my father has the Annatto tree. And also because if you're Hispanic, then you know you'll end up having little half-used envelopes in here that could be so annoying. But I always keep some as a backup, right? Because you always have to have a backup. But primarily, I'll make my own, and it's very easy. Here I harvested some pods so that you can actually see how beautiful that is. And when you're handling these, you should wear some gloves. I'm going to go ahead and handle my achote with some gloves because since it's powdery, as I pour it, it's a little, like almost like a little puff of achote smoke, like I call it, right? That will happen as I pour it in my little container. As you can see, I ran out. And I'm going to reuse my container to put all of my ingredients. Now, how do you take the seeds out of the Annatto pods? Well, you can do it one at a time, like scraping them out into a bowl, but that would take forever. So what I like to do is take an old, nice, strong pillowcase and fill it up with all of my open pods and kind of go at it. I beat that bad boy like it's nobody's business, and I'll release the Annatto seeds out. And after that, I'll gather them and sift them because it does have a little debris on it from the rain, may have a little bit of bugs, that's the reality, some dirt. And so you want to sift it a few times to make sure that all that you're collecting is the actual Annatto seed and nothing else. And then once you have that, I tend to store it in a jar like this. Like this is all the Annatto that I've collected from the tree. And this will last me like literally over a year because, I mean, a little goes a long way. Now, back in the day when I was smaller, when I was younger, and many of you, I'm pretty sure will remember your mom taking back then lard, manteca, right? And taking a few scoops of that and putting it into a saucepan and making it, having it come to a simmer and adding some annatto seeds. And basically they would steep the colorant out of the seed and into the shortening. And then they will cool it off and pour it into a container and stick it in the fridge, and it was solidified. So when they need it, the achota, they would just scoop it out and add it to whatever it was, whether it was rice or whatever it is that they wanted to add colorant that also needed shortening, right? And another way also was to steep it like a tea. And they would also put that in a container and they would just use it as a colorant for whatever it is that they were cooking. And also grinding it. This is why I have this coffee grinder. This is where I ground my herbs and my spices, and this is perfect for grinding my seeds. And after you grind them, you have this beautiful orangey red, as you can see, powder that was once the seed of the annatto. And so, little backstory to the achote. This was used by the Tainos here in the Caribbean way before the Europeans came, and they used it to color their food, for flavor. They also used it in cosmetics, for body paint, mosquito repellent, for fabrics, and even as sunscreen. And so that's a little history on that. And like I said, a little goes a long way. Now, normally the basis of chote in the sazon, when you get it, right, is there's always garlic and onion powder. That seems to be like the base. And then the main ingredient will be the achote. But sometimes you can also purchase it where it has an extra herb or spice in it. In this particular case, it was the culantro, the coriander. So this is the coriander and annatto, but you can get it that it will be oregano or parsley or any other flavor that you want. It would have turmeric or what have you. But the best part about making your own is that you can customize it to add other flavors and herbs or spices that you like to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and open my container, and to this I'm gonna add, and this is the mix that I particularly like. Right here I have a tablespoon of garlic powder, as you can see, and I'm gonna add that into my little container. I really like onion powder, so I'm adding 2 tablespoons of the onion powder. Right in there. Come on, Lucy, don't make a mess. I'm also gonna add a tablespoon of coriander, which is culantro in Spanish. I'm gonna add a half a teaspoon of oregano, and this is grounded oregano. So all of my seasonings here are grounded. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of black pepper and half a teaspoon of turmeric. I love the way that it tastes, and I like to add that color into it as well. And then of course the star ingredient, which is the achote. So here we go. And there we have all of the ingredients in my little jar. And you would think it would fill it up, but it actually doesn't. And this goes a long way. Because like I said, you know, a little goes a long way with that colorant. And I just basically shake it. Just like that. Give it a couple of taps. And it's just as simple as that. Here we have our beautiful sazon. And I normally just use like a quarter teaspoon to whatever I'm making. I never really make anything huge that I would require any more than that. But it's so easy to make, as you can see, and it's definitely something that you will be using on a daily basis. If you're Hispanic, you know. And so basically that's it. There's no reason why you couldn't make your own. So go ahead and try making your own sazon. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't you forget to subscribe. God bless. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.